Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Affordable Weighing Made Easy. Thank you for joining. My name is Yannick Salzmann. I'm Product Manager for Process Weighing at Minibear Intec, which is including load cells, weight electronics, and all the accessories. I'm located here in Hamburg. It's cloudy, but pretty warm. And yeah, let's start with the webinar. Before I start with the topic, you already made the first step and registered yourself and joined today to this webinar. Anyhow, I want in the first step clarify my target group for today's webinar. This webinar will be helpful and useful for you if you're in the following industries. In general, if your company is working in the processing manufacturing industry of any kind of goods, you will see some pictures on the right side with different kind of industries. So if you are active in the food or beverage industry, if you're working with plastic materials, if you're in the chemical industry or pharma and formulation, you will find products which can improve your processes in the production. But of course, in any kind of production, manufacturing, where you somehow have to handle goods, material, you will always find process steps where weighing might be helpful, useful, or even necessary. So if you're in one of those industries, please continue and listen. You will get some interesting information. As the end customer, the company who will manufacture the goods is not always producing the machines, planning all the factory. Of course, plant building companies and engineering companies will get some interesting information, for example, about integrating the load cells into the machines or storage silos for a production factory. If you're active in the scale manufacturing, you will hear something about load cells, which will be integrated into platforms. Platforms in the bigger dimensions are, for example, truck weigh bridges, where as well 6 or 8 load cells are mounted below of a concrete or steel plate and then connected to a weight indicator. So this will be interesting for you as well. And of course, last but not least, any kind of distributor of weighing components like our partners, where I know some of our partners are listening as well, will get some interesting information today. If you're not listed here, you're of course anyhow welcome to continue listening. I probably forgot you, but you shouldn't skip now listening. Before I will continue with the new products we launched or some new information, for those who are not deeply involved into weighing processes, let's get an introduction where weighing processes in the production flow are required. Let's start with the acceptance of loose material. In any kind you produce something, you will get some materials from your suppliers, and normally you will pay them by weight. These, payment by weight has somehow to be controlled, which is normally done by truck weigh bridges. As I told, the components are coming from us, Minibear Intec, the load cells, weight indicators, and so on. Same is going on for outgoing goods. When you're shipping goods, you want, of course, as well, know how much are you shipping, and you want to receive the right amount of money. Afterwards, you have to storage the material. It can be outside of the factory in some silos or inside of the factory in some kind of silos and vessels. You probably want to know as well how much material is at this moment in the vessel. And this is easiest possible with load cells, as the load cell can be mounted at any kind of silo without doing something inside the silo or constructing the silo. demanding the requirements of the sensor, you can simply mount a load cell below of the vessel foot and connect it to a weight indicator, which will then translate it to the language your production system is talking. Then you will always know if the silo is full, half empty, or completely empty. And if it is completely empty, you can automatically program it that you will order the next batch of the material at your supplier. If it is not loose material, you might get material within packages already. You can measure, weight these piece goods at some floor scales, which we provide as well, as you see on the right picture. Within a production system, you can have different kind of production automation processes. You can have some mixers, you can have some filling stations, depending on your product in the food area, if it is flour, sugar, whatever, if it is different kind of paintings where you want to mix the right color. And for all these production processes, precision is one of the most important requirements. With our load cells, you can get precise, reliable weight values, which can be processed for the next steps. It can either be transmit directly to your PLC, or we offer weight controllers, which can handle the completely production flow with the valves, some pumps, mixers. We can even program it for your weighing application, for example, with different recipes. This can be realized with load cells and our weight controllers. In the manual production, you can do check weighing of some goods or some other processes of already packed packages with normal industrial bench scales, which we offer as well. You can see it on the right picture as example. In the end, you have a final product and you somehow want to pack it. Then we offer different products like check weighing systems where you can check the weight of the final product in high speed. We have different products depending on your requirements, high speed, lower speed, different kind of capacity ranges, and so on. In addition, safety is probably in your production one of the highest requirements. We offer metal detection to check if there's any piece of metal, or vision systems and X-ray system for different kinds of foreign bodies. So in each step of the production flow, you see weighing solutions and inspection solutions are, as I said, useful or even necessary. And as Minibear Intec, we can supply in all of these steps products to support you and deliver the right products. But let's continue now with the silo weighing, as this is the main use case for the types of load cells we produce here in Hamburg, right next to me in our production. On the left side, you see a typical silo. It is a silo with 3 legs, and below the silo feet, we have mounted a load cell with mounting kits. The load cell can have different shapes. Some example will be shown here. Depending on your requirements, you can choose different kind of load cells. As today is affordable weighing made easy, I will focus on explaining just as examples those 3 kind of load cells. We have, for example, the pancake load cell. The pancake load cell, you can guess its name is because it's flat as pancake, is made for level control measuring. As I said, you want to know, is the silo half full, completely full, or empty? A pancake sensor is enough. What is the benefit of using a pancake compared to other load cells? The pancake can use for pivot weighing, which means that you only need 1 pancake load cell. On the other feet, there are pivots that it is still the same height. And then you directly connect the pancake to a weight electronics. This will enable a really cheap solution for a whole weighing solution. If you have higher requirements, you can go to a beam type load cell. The beam type load cell has capacities up to 5 tons per load cell. So for smaller vessels within a production hall, for example, this load cell might be good enough. It is a low-cost solution. It is not perfect for site forces, but for standard weighing applications, this load cell is most of the kinds sufficient. If you have higher requirements, we have our Nowego weigh module. Why is it a weigh module and not a load cell? The load cell is already integrated into the mounting accessories. So what you see here on the picture is a whole weigh module which can be directly mounted under a vessel foot. So you don't have to calculate, okay, if we have these kind of constructions, we need a mounting kit with a constrainer in this direction. At this vessel foot, we have a constrainer in this direction. You just have 3 or 4 Nowegos. You can mount it under the vessel foot, and you have a 360-degree side force compensation up to 20% of the load. In addition, the Nowego is a hygienic design, so it's especially made for food and pharma areas, which is as well supplied by the stainless steel 1.4418, which is highly corrosion resistant for any kind of material or detergents when cleaning the load cell. When you have the load cell, you will get an analog signal out of it. The analog signal is translated by our weight indicators. The weight indicators will translate the analog signal to a weight value and then translate it to the language your production is talking, like any kind of PLC or ERP system with field buses, for example. Here I'm showing the X2 and Link E transmitter, which I will present on the next slides. This is not our completely portfolio. You probably know it when you're a partner or a long customer since many years. But those are the entry-level products for simple and reliable weighing. If you have complex applications, as I told before, you can choose our Maxis series, for example, is programmable, has different weighing point interface options, and so on. If you need support for that, just contact us. Yeah, as I told, the weight electronics will translate the signals into your needed language for the ERP or PLC system. Now I will start with our new product, the X2 indicator. The X2 indicator is a simple, reliable weight indicator. If you just want to have a storage silo and you want to pass by and see, okay, it's 1.5 ton full, then this product is good enough. Same for simple process vessels where you don't have to connect different kind of valves and mixing processes, or where you have to program a recipe. It is just about checking that the weight is correct right next to the silo, on the table, or at a cabinet next to it. Then the X2 is the right product for you. You have 3 simple decisions to take. The first one is the housing. You have a tabletop housing, an IP65 protection class made from out of stainless steel, or you have a panel housing for the cabinet installation. We will have a 230 volt version or 20 volt version, depending on your production. The 230 volt version is not yet launched. I will communicate the launch date soon. And you have to choose your interface. For interfaces, we have some standard interfaces. It's always included 3 digital inputs and 3 digital outputs, and a serial communication interface, RS232 and RS485 with Modbus RTU for the connection of printers and to connect a remote display, for example, our PR5110. Optional, you can choose one out of those interfaces, an analog output and field bus like Profibus, or an industrial Ethernet field bus like Profinet or Ethernet IP. So normally everything you need is possible for your simple weighing application. If you know our portfolio, you might ask now, don't you have an X3 indicator? Why do we need the X2 indicator now in your portfolio? I think in general, the question or the answer you would like to hear is that the X2 indicator is way cheaper. The list price of the X2 is around 30 to 40% lower than for the X3 indicator, which means as an entry level for simple weighing applications, this is the product you can choose now as entry-level product for an affordable pricing. Of course, a lower price will mean as well some limitations in the specification, but have a look on the table on the left side. In general, as I told you, all the main field buses you need are available as well with the X2. The difference is that the X2 only have one fixed interface card. With the X3, you can choose between two slots. You can combine an analog output with a Profinet output, and you can exchange it in the field, which is not possible with the X2. Both of them have a 230 volt version and a 24 volt version. Both of them are available as panel housing for cabinet installation. What I think is really new, and beside the pricing, the biggest benefit now with the X2 indicator is that we have a tabletop housing. For this price segment, we didn't have any solution. The only tabletop housing we had in our portfolio yet was our Maxxis 5, which is, to be honest, for simple weighing applications, over-engineered. It is made for complex applications, precise or special requirements with ATEX, different weighing points, and so on. With the X2 indicator, we now have a tabletop housing for a lower price starting at €1,500 list price. Some further limitations compared to the X3. The X2 does not have a legal for trade application. It does not have a certification for hazardous areas. The X3 has a certification for ATEX ICX 222. It is not configurable with a web browser, but I think for the applications where it is intended to be installed, you normally do one time a calibration. You can do it on the device. Then sometimes maybe you set 0, but you shouldn't do a complex application with the X2. Why I think the configuration at the device is fine. You can connect a remote display. This could be always useful. You cannot connect our digital load cells or platforms. Therefore, you have to choose different products from us. And if you care, the X3 is made in Germany, here in our factories. The X2 is as well made in our factories, but it is made in India since several years already. We already sold 7,000 units to happy customers in India and China. Let's have a last slide about the X2. I will not bore you with all of those numbers. It's mostly for your handout and that you can see it. You maybe know our PR numbers if you're a partner. The X3 is the PR 5410. The X2 is the PR 5310, so a number smaller. We have different types. I told you, panel housing, tabletop housing, different kind of interfaces. Each type has one number. It is not configurable, which might be, it's less options, but as well easier decisions to take. For the tabletop housing, we have as well a wall mounting accessory available. So if you don't have a table next to the silo and neither a cabinet, you can mount it directly at the wall next to the silo. I will continue then with the Link E transmitter. Just to summarize, the Link E transmitter was launched last year in September 2022. In my opinion, it's a really great new product. It is one of the first transmitter, at least with such a big touch display. You might ask, why is a touch display this size needed for a cabinet DIN rail transmitter? But with this display, you have some real benefits in the field. In general, I think it is always helpful and useful if you open the cabinet and you see, okay, with the transmitter and then with the weight value of the silo and the load cells, is everything fine? You can open it, you will see the weight value, 1,200 kilogram, and it's okay. If it's not okay, you will see it as well. Then you can see some error functions and so on. In addition, it will improve the work and the installation time. If there's a fail or you want to contact your service colleague, you can directly press some buttons there, go to a service contact, have a QR code, scan it with your phone and directly call the service contact, which is saved in the device. You don't have to check in the database and probably first check where to check at all. In addition, you don't need to connect it somehow with any kind of browsing system to check the IP address. You can directly check it on the device. You can go through the settings, see the network address, and directly connect it to your network, to your web browser. In addition, all of the interfaces are available for an affordable pricing. And Profinet or Ethernet IP transmitter is available for less than 1,200 euro list price. What is now new with the new firmware we will launch next week? The firmware 3.0 will enable new functions. We made it possible to have the set zero and tear function. If you know the device, you know that you have in the web browser and password protection. So you cannot change any settings without a login via password. Security issues, you don't want that anyone in your production can calibrate the silo itself without knowing what he's doing. So after the password protection, you can now enable the set zero and tear function. You can either enable it only in the web browser so that you can log in, then in the setting functions you can do, on the calibration page, you can do a set zero or a tear of the silo. In addition, you can enable it for the touch display on the device, that you just press two buttons and then you do the set zero. Of course, this might be a security issue, as I said, that someone passing by in the production pressing this button and then all the material is gone of the silo. But of course, for the set zero, you can do the normal limitation that a set zero is only possible between 0% and 1% of the net load or something like this. If it is higher than that, nothing will happen. So you will ensure that at least not all of the material will be deleted, just to say it like this. If you already have Link-E devices in your system, or you just bought it, or you will get one of the last year on stock, don't worry, the firmware can easily be updated, flashed on your device with our intuitive iFlashIt software tool. If you ever handle a computer, you know how to do it. It is drag and drop of the new firmware into the tool, press the button, flashing or flash it or something, and you just wait 5 minutes, then it's done. Just one remark I would like you to have in mind, that when you do the update, a factory reset have to be done or will be done while updating, which mean all the settings you made before are deleted. That's why we recommend to download the settings in the web browser before you do it. And after the update, you can upload the settings again and everything will work as it was, but you have the new firmware installed. If you have any questions about that, let me know or let your partner manager know. And yeah, we can show you some example or answer your question. I think I will directly continue with the next chapter now, and in the end have a question and answer session. I will now focus on some further new products. You already know this picture. And actually, this has been the focus of the Mini-Bear Intec load cells in the past, silo weighing, process vessel weighing. But the world of load cells is way bigger, to be honest. There is, for example, a whole world of single point load cells. Single point load cells are used, for example, for platforms as well in our platforms we produce. So you see it on the picture. In the center, there's one single point mounted, and then the load plate is mounted on the top, and it's done. You have a platform scale. This will follow, or this leads to the fact that single point load cells are one of the most sold load cell types in the world. But platform scales is not the only application for single point load cells. We have as well machinery like checkweighers, as we produce as well, or any kind of other machinery where a weighing process will happen. For example, any kind of belt weigher or even multi-head weigher have single point load cells integrated. So you see there are many different applications in the machinery OEM business to sell single point load cells or to use single point load cells. As machinery is always important that the components are fitting inside the machine, there are many kind of different type of load cells. What is new now at Mini-Bear Intec? As you might know, since 7 years, we are part of the Mini-Bear Mitsumi Group. Mini-Bear Mitsumi is one of the biggest Japanese machine building companies, for example, for miniature bearings. Miniature bearings of Mini-Bear Mitsumi are in all of your electronic devices like laptops, smartphones, and so on. They have parts in every kind of car, your Mercedes, Tesla, and so on. And yeah, it's a huge company. We are one part of it. And we use the synergies of this company and our company to develop these new products, the single point load cells and beam type load cells, and produce it in the factories of Mini-Bear Mitsumi. So we ensured the engineering quality and the testing quality, in general, the high quality of the load cells of Mini-Bear Intec together with the production capabilities of Mini-Bear Mitsumi. That's why we now have a whole series of new load cell, the LC series. Before I will show our portfolio of products right now, let's mention our online shop. If you want to check our products, you can find our LC series and some more products, not our whole portfolio, but some of our products in the online shop at shop.minibear-intec.com. You can browse, you can have a look, and you can even request an order. It will directly come to our back office here in Hamburg, and it will be processed by my colleagues, having you involved, sending you an offer for the product, and so on. You already see a price indication. You can download the data sheet. You can see a picture, and so on. Let's now have a look at the products. The products you see here were already launched 4 years ago, actually. 4 years ago. The PR40, PR43, and PR47. Those products are aluminum, single point load cells from 5 kilogram up to 750 kilogram for floor platforms. Those are the cheapest products. I think the PR40 is starting with 130 euros list price. But as well, of course, the requirements are lower than with stainless steel. It is only IP67. So depending on the application, this might not be enough. That's why we have stainless steel single point load cells now. We have the PR43, PR44, and PR54 and PR57. What is the difference between 53 and 54? You can see both capacity ranges are similar, 7.5 versus 10 kg, 100 kg to 200 kg. But the PR53 is a hermetically sealed load cell. It is welded, so the strain gauges are better protected than at a PR54, where it is, you see it on the top, the white silicon layer, where the strain gauges are below. You can, for example, see it at the protection class. 53 is IP68, IP69 versus 54, 66, and 67. But you will, in the end, also see in the pricing that the 54 is way cheaper than the 53. In addition, we have the beam type load cells, LC Nitto. We now have the PR77 load cell launched. The PR79 will follow around October this year. The PR77, you might know this design, and it is exactly the same design as the competition I will not mention by name here. But you can be sure that it is a one-by-one replacement. The whole pattern is the same and you can directly exchange it. It might be that you're looking for a second source, or maybe you just want to see our price range. Just ask for a quote and our possibilities. You cannot lose anything by just asking. The PR77 is, as usual for this kind of load cell, available from 10 kg to 500 kg. It is a standard already 222 zone, same as our stainless steel single point load cells. So no worries about hazardous areas. And if you need 0, 20 or 121, we have those versions as well available. We have it available for NTAP areas for the for the North American market. And for the PR77, we have some versions in C6 accuracy class as well. What is now new, maybe you know that in the past we had the MP77 and MP79 in our portfolio. We, due to the production capabilities of our mother group, MinebeaMitsumi, we could drastically reduce our list prices or our pricing in general. I think the PR77, PR79 are around 405, 420 euro list pricing. And as you know, there are always some possibilities for discounts with those kind of load cells. Our partners already have some defined discounts. And I can assure you that we will be competitive with the pricing of other European manufacturer of those kind of load cells. So don't have in mind Mini-Bear Intec will be more expensive anyhow. Anyways, we will not go with them. Just ask, and especially for higher volumes, as always, it is possible to negotiate different pricings. What about delivery times? As some of those products are completely new and so on, we have a ramp up phase, of course, but it is the aim that we have a stock here in Hamburg and that we can deliver within some days. This is the goal for all C3 models. Of course, if you order a C6 X version, we cannot ensure that we have many units here on stock. And sometimes, you know it yourself probably, if one customer made a high volume order, it might happen that the stock is empty, then it can take some time as well. But in general, I think for those load cells, and we are aware of it, delivery time is a key. So yeah, especially if it is important for you or you have higher volumes, contact us, then we can plan with it and we can address it to our supplier, MinebeaMitsumi, that we have some local stock here in Hamburg. That's it from the products. If you want more information about those kind of load cells, all data sheets are available. I think it doesn't make sense to talk about all of the technical specification in this webinar. And yeah, just contact me, the sales address of Mini-Bear Intec, or the partner manager of your region. Let's sum up what we have learned today. In general, I think I could show that for many of your production processes, weighing is the best choice. It is the most reliable method for level control and filling and dosing processes. You can easily connect it to a higher level process. So you just have the load cell connected to our weight electronics. That's a measurement system, a whole measuring chain you get from us. And then you get the language you need, like Ethernet IP, which can be connected to your PLC. You do not have a change, or you don't have to plan the design of your silo depending on this sensor. Of course, the silo will be a bit higher. Maybe the weighing foot has to be, the vessel foot has to be designed, but the silo itself can be focused on the material you have in storage or you want to work with in the dosing process, as the load cell is mounted outside of the vessel compared, for example, to some radar system for level monitoring inside the vessel. Because it is outside of the vessel, we have no contact to the materials inside the vessel, which is more hygienic and more safe. In addition, we have solutions in stainless steel, so either the Novego load cell, where everything is hygienic, but as well for our standard load cells, we have stainless steel mounting kits to be on the safe side. Load cells are in addition robust and long-lasting products, which actually normally the load cell will not be defect if you install it right. It can hold, or we know that it's holding 20, 30 years. There are plenty of running installations for 20 years and longer. So normally if something is wrong, it's not the load cell itself, something happened, or it is the electronics behind. Which will lead in the end to low service expenses as you installed it once, and especially if you don't have legal for trade applications, it will run forever. That will lead in total to the cheapest and most reliable way for level monitoring and filling processes. Even though maybe the installation costs are higher than with other sensors, on the longer term, you will see the benefits. And I think it is as well nice to know that you don't have to worry about these type of sensors, which just should work in your production. If you're interested in more material, especially our partners can always address us for product presentations. Data sheets are available on our homepage. 3D drawings for the load cells will be as well available on the homepage. You can get, if it's not online right now, you can get it from us anyhow. You will find many interesting how-to guides, for example, related to this webinar, a single point load cell guide where you see the differences between aluminum and stainless steel load cells and different kind of applications. And you will find plenty of webinars you can download and listen to. Just check out it on our webpage. I would like to thank you for listening, and I wish all of you some nice summer holidays in the future, in the next weeks, and see you soon.